We also have Dr. Evalina Grayver here. She's from the Ukrainian First Responders Group at Northwell. So I'm glad you're able to make it, Doctor. She's one of the frontline physicians that ran the COVID IC units at North Shore in 2020 at the very start of the outbreak. Now, many of you may know Northwell treated more COVID patients than any other health system in the country. So she's also worked with Detective Stephen McDonald. I was very surprised to find out, as his personal physician. And she's born in Ukraine, and she's just here to talk to us a little bit about what's going on. Doctor.
Thank you. So it's kind of interesting to be here because I think that over the last couple of weeks, I think I've lost who I am, like my own identity, right? Because I came here in 1988 when it was, and we left former USSR. So when I was here as a little girl and people asked me where I'm from, I would always say that I'm from Russia, because that's what I kind of learned to say. But I was actually born in Ukraine. But I couldn't say that I'm Ukrainian because so many, and actually 3/4 of my family was killed by the Nazi regime and the fascism that actually was in Ukraine. So what happened over the last 2 weeks, I'm kind of confused, right? Because I can't say that I'm Russian. It's hard to say that I'm Ukrainian, even though I was born in Ukraine. So who am I? So, as a good family-oriented kid, what do? You call your grandma, right? You call grandma and you say, who am I and what do I do at this period of time? And my grandmother, who lost 95% of her family during the Holocaust in Ukraine, told me, does it matter? Does it matter? What's happening right now is atrocious. There's absolutely no reason why a civilian building should be bombed. There's no reason why children should be running away and be orphaned. There's just no reason for any of it. My grandmother told me the fact that if she were to close her eyes and imagine those images that we see right now on TV and just make them black and white, it would be 1941. So she told me, she's like, however you feel to identify yourself as a Russian-speaking, Ukrainian-born, I know it's a mouthful, but as long as I am able to tell my story, who I am, as long as I am able to say why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing for the country where I was born, hopefully history won't repeat itself. And I think that's the important message, is that we actually have to teach our kids what has happened so that history doesn't repeat itself. We can't have innocent people be killed. I grew up in the public school system here. We immigrated, lived in Queens, Forest Hills, pretty much my whole life. So went to public schools and we're always worried about the big bully. So that's what Ukraine is being torn apart right now, is by a big bully, right? So what do we do when there's a big bully in school? Well, you can't really scold him, right? He's not scoldable, but you can stand up to him. And that's what Ukraine's doing. So let's help them stand up to the big bully, please. And the reason why I really wanted to be here is because when we immigrated, and the reason why we immigrated is because it was the end of my 3rd year in school back in former USSR, and my parents were just contemplating immigrating. But they were so devoted to their country, they were so devoted to Ukraine. My dad served 3 years in the Russian army, Russian Navy actually, and he wasn't ready to leave. But the one day that my school friends that I've been in school with for 3 years realized the fact that I was Jewish, they chased me home, throwing rocks at me. That same day, my father put in immigration papers. And again, it's history. It's history repeating itself. Those same kids that potentially chased me from school are the ones that are protecting their country right now. And some may wonder, well, Evalina, why do you want to help those that chased you out of your country? Again, I want them to be able to stand up to the big bully. So please, let's help them. Thank you, everybody.